If you've ever wondered why when you start something it's difficult to follow through, or you've ever waited for just the right moment to start, perhaps you've been making a fundamental mistake. Allow me to explain what it is. And I'm not accusing you. It may be that you've been waiting for motivation. And motivation is a bit of a modern myth. Motivation is almost like that smoke and mirrors trick that successful people play on people who are not succeeding. They promote the idea that they received some kind of inspiration to action, some kind of motivation to get something done. But actually, underneath and behind the scenes, what they were really doing was dedicating themselves to a task with rigid and often relentless determination. Motivation is a bit of a trick of the light. Motivation is a smoke and mirrors illusion. There's no such thing as motivation. There's a desire to act, there's a goal, there's an outcome. There are lots of things, but motivation is not one of them. If you're waiting for motivation, then you're going to be waiting a long time. And should you get motivation, you're going to find yourself on the back foot. Because motivation, it's a little bit like masturbation. Hot and heavy at the beginning, but it wanes quite quickly, especially if you're doing it right. My point being, and I digress, my point being that motivation is a feel-good element in your life, and it makes you feel wonderful while you're engaging in it. However, it can wane and go out like the tide. If you're relying on the feel-good factor and you're relying on the fake optimism and the artificial dopamine hits that motivation provide, when motivation wanes, and it will, you're left high and dry. So what is the alternative to waiting for motivation? We've discussed it previously. The alternative to waiting for motivation is to set a goal and then decide on a schedule how you're going to go about achieving that goal. Just a little caveat here. When you set a goal, you may be a certain person in a certain time of your life. By the time you achieve that goal, you may be a different person at a different destination to the one you imagined. But the important thing is to set the goal and to doggedly attach yourself to achieving that goal. To recap briefly, forget about motivation. Start thinking in more concrete terms about what it is you wish to achieve. State it. Write it down, record it, express it to yourself. Integrate the goal and the outcomes of the goal into your neurons. Repeat it often, and then schedule the events that you're going to achieve in order to make the goal happen. If you're waiting for motivation, you'll be waiting a long time. It's a bit like inspiration. If you're waiting for inspiration, it will be a long time. The bottom line is, whichever of these you're waiting on, neither of them will give you any result unless you are hard at work, relentlessly and doggedly applying yourself to the task. So let's remove the myth of motivation from our lives. Let's replace the myth of motivation with the reality of momentum. Momentum is forward movement. Motivation is a myth. Remove motivation from your lexicon. It's not logical, it's just a feel-good feeling which is going to really hold you back. It's going to cause you to waste time and energy waiting for some mythological creature to appear. Now, set goals, set standards, set a desire to focus relentlessly, milestone your achievements, keep track of what you're doing. Reduce the need for motivation, remove it from your life, because an overarching desire for motivation is essentially defeating you and defeating your purpose, and it's keeping you weak, it's keeping you vulnerable, and it's keeping you pathetic. I hope this has been useful to you, fellow seeker. It's been useful to me, as always, getting my ideas out there. Unfortunately, I get to watch myself redo this several times when I edit, whereas you only have to watch it once. However, I will leave you with one final thought, which is, whatever it is you dare to do or dare to dream, begin it now.